Yeah, this question's for Tanner. Just your thoughts on over going into game two.
Well, I think just overall, I don't think it was the kind of game anyone wanted to play yesterday. I think at the end of the day, it's still the first game of the series. It's still a long series to go, and look to bounce back next game.
Next up, Farhan Lalji, TSN.
Tanner, we'll start with you. Chirping was a big part of last night's game, or so it appears. And I know that when a building is empty, it's a lot easier to hear that stuff, comments back and forth between the teams. We know Antoine and Ryan Reeves were kind of in the middle of it. When you're losing a game 5-0 and all of that is going on, is it hard not to let that creep into your minds, just the talk?
I don't think so. I think it happens every game. It's just maybe a bit more out there because you guys can hear it. It happens every game. It's nothing that's out of the norm. So, no.
Ben Kuzma, Post Media.
It's a question for Chris. Chris, you've been such a good D partner to Quinn Hughes and a confident and a pretty good friend. How do you help him deal with last night? He was pretty hard on himself, as he always is, and looked a little down and out at the bench. How can you help him, Chris?
He's fine. I mean, he's one of the most confident players that I've ever played with. He's one of the most skilled players I've ever played with. So, I mean, things aren't going to go your way every night, and you get back on the horse and you go at it tomorrow again. So, I mean, it's why you play 7 games. I mean, obviously things didn't go the way we wanted yesterday, but thankfully we play tomorrow.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
That's what we'd wonder, Chris, is how much, interaction there is between a young guy like him and a veteran guy like you. Like, obviously, he doesn't look like a kid that needs a ton of help. But I guess out here in the media and the fans, we'd love to know, like this, are there things you can help him with at a time of year like this?
I mean, we always talk. We hang out together quite a bit. We're always talking about hockey. What can we do? What can we do better? What do we like about our game? And I mean, we're always trying to get little things better at how we play. And I mean, obviously last night we weren't good enough. So I mean, it's pretty simple. Quinn is, as I said, one of the most skilled people I've ever played with and one of the most confident players I've ever played with. So I have no doubt in my mind that when we play next game, he's going to be fine and he's going to be flying out there.
Jeff Patterson, TSN 1040.
Hey, Chris, in specifics, what can you guys do better to move the puck against that forecheck? I mean, you've seen other good forechecks in the NHL. I don't think that Vegas surprised you guys probably, but just in terms of their execution, it looked at times like they overwhelmed you guys. What do you have to do better to move the puck out of your own end?
I mean, I personally think a lot of their stuff came off the rush. It was not as much as their forecheck. They generate so much off transition, and when we turn pucks over, they're coming with 3-4 guys. So I mean, that's where they're very dangerous, I think, and we need to do a better job of managing pucks and getting pucks deep and being a 5-man unit. I mean, it's when you're breaking the puck out, it's always one little pass a 3-foot pass, a 4-foot pass that breaks the pressure and lets you get out of your own end.
Mike Moriali, NHL.com.
Hey, Tanner. Realizing Vegas has taken the fewest penalties this postseason, do you feel the club needs to show a little bit more patience, persistence in enforcing those penalties to gain those advantages?
Yes and no. I think penalties are being obviously a bit differently called since we've got here. You kind of have to earn them now. And, yeah, they're pretty disciplined teams that they've been here. So I think we just got to keep on, if we play our game and moving our feet and, breaking off checks and making them hook and hold and grabbing and that kind of stuff, they may get called a bit more. So, I mean, it's just we'll see what happens.
Jim Morris, CBC.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry, Ted took me into unmute. Chris, I know this is like maybe a little off topic, but in the past, Travis has talked about how during the layoff, the coaching staff got together and talked about things they could do better with the team. And once the the training camp started, some of those things were implemented. How important do you think that whole process was to getting the team to where it is now? Whatever the coaches devised and what they put together in that training camp, was there a difference? Did it make you folks a better team?
I mean, I feel like our coaches are always working hard. Our management's always working hard to make us better. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? What can you do to make your team and players succeed? And obviously, we won the first 2 rounds, but we're not happy with that, and we weren't happy with our performance last night. So we'll move on tomorrow and hopefully improve on our game.
Follow-up from Brendan Batchelor.
Yeah, Tanner, when it comes to Vegas's forecheck, short of taking interference penalties, what are some of the things you guys as forwards can do to help your defensemen have more time going back for the puck?
Yeah, I think, it's our game plan to kind of chip bodies and get in their way so they can't get a full head of steam on our D, and give them as much time as possible to make, the next play and talk to them to let them know if, one of those guys are steaming down.
Ben Kuzma.
Yeah, question for Pierce here. Managing emotions is a big deal in the postseason. You're a pretty young buck when you're with the Kings, and you probably saw on a regular basis how the old guard kind of helped the younger guys along. With 10 playoff newbies here, Pierce, how have you helped the young guys along, and how big a part of it is it to make sure that everybody's on an even keel?
Yeah, I don't think, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. That's when I think you get into trouble. So it's win a game, move on as possible, or lose a game, move on as fast as possible. So, that's just kind of, we've kind of reiterated that every time after every game. Next game's a new game, and the last one doesn't really matter.
And we'll take a final question from Jay Janauer, Global.
Yeah, just to follow up on that one, guys. When you play a game like that, Travis said that he thought you guys were pissed off, and rightfully so, because of the way that the game went. Do you want to get back on the ice right away? Like, would you want to play today, or do you want to decompress a little bit and get charged back up for tomorrow?
I think a bit of both. I think obviously playoffs are, you're going every other day. So that in between days you kind of, recoup or recover and try to make your body feel as good as it can for the next game. And but at the same time, after last night, you want to kind of get her back going and try to redeem yourself. So it goes both ways.